Hi YouTube, I'm Lyle.
First monkeypox case of the year.
Kitty's monkey. Now I consider monkeypox very low risk to you and almost everybody else on the planet. I'm expecting to see fear porn videos and the usual conspiracy stuff put out there by the usual whack jobs. I haven't viewed this video so I can't speak to its content or style, and apologies if it isn't what it portrays to be in the thumbnail.
Massachusetts health officials say a man who recently traveled to Canada was infected with the virus. Monkeypox rarely appears outside Central and Western Africa. The patient has been hospitalized and said to be in good condition. Officials say his case does not pose a risk to the public.
Wow, Lyle. A casual viewer might think Canada's a hotbed of monkeypox.
Public health teams in Quebec are now investigating 13 cases of suspected monkeypox. The U.S. also confirmed its first case today, a Boston man who recently traveled to Canada.
You might think America's a hotbed of monkeypox. Monkeypox is a relatively newly discovered disease in the 1970s, and it's one of multiple diseases we're keeping an eye on in case they become epidemics or pandemics. But why over the last few weeks has there been a sudden outbreak in clusters all across the globe? This disease typically is exported out by a person from Central Africa. It doesn't come out of Central Africa and then start spreading. It appears to be spreading in clusters. Well, it's not the monkeys attacking us, but no doubt monkey and ape houses in zoos across the planet will not be as popular over the next few weeks as they have been over the last few decades. Monkeypox is believed to be non-infectious if the person who's got it has no symptoms. It is infectious once they have symptoms. The symptoms are dramatic and self-limiting for infection.
An outbreak in Europe has grown to more than 30 confirmed or suspected infections. The World Health Organization says the disease can turn deadly and there's no specific treatment. Symptoms of monkeypox can include fever, headache, swollen lymph nodes, chills, and exhaustion, along with those lesions. These latest cases appear to be spreading through close human-to-human contact.
The World Health Organization claimed that COVID-19 was not infectious unless the person had symptoms, and that was absolutely not true. However, COVID-19 was a novel, a new virus, but in 2022...
it's either that it's a more transmissible variant of monkeypox than any that we've seen before between humans.
Unknown. There are two strains. The worst kills about 11% of its victims. The victims of death from monkeypox are mostly the very young and sick. This new strain appears to be the 0% killing strain. This is a fairly dense slide, and I've included it for those people who want to know more. I want to pause on the slide and read it. It is somewhat interesting, but I'm not going to read it out to you. Until 2022, monkeypox was not a disease that spreads human to human easily outside of Central Africa. So what's happening in 2022 to change this? This shows the jump in Spanish cases from 8 to 23 doesn't imply difficult transmission. Before 2022, there would be outbreaks in Central Africa. Somebody from Central Africa would travel to the West, or somebody from the West would travel to Central Africa, go back home, or visit the West, and somebody in the West might catch it from them, or a couple might catch it from them. That was a transmission of monkeypox. But now it looks like it's spreading here.
Or there are behaviors that are associated with increased transmission.
She's talking about homosexuality. While it's true it might be a third unknown strain of monkeypox that's passing via anal intercourse, and may well be the new AIDS 2 if you like, if I was enjoying anal intercourse, whether I was male or female, I would very much consider using condoms very carefully and also checking out my partner for lesions prior to intercourse. For me, the concerning part is the respiratory droplet theory. Usually with monkeypox, you basically have to live with somebody in a closed room to catch it from them from respiratory droplets. It's hard to actually catch it. If it's being spread by anal sex, that's new. It hasn't happened before, so that's also a new thing to look out for. But if it's being spread by respiratory droplet infection, that implies it's way more easy to catch now than it has been in the past.
Medical experts say cases are appearing among gay and bisexual men.
That doesn't necessarily mean it's sexually transmitted. It just means that it's amplified among people who are in close proximity to each other.
Anyone can spread this virus through open sores, contact with bodily fluids, or by touching contaminated clothes or bedding.
This would have to generally be wet bedding, but until now it has not been an STD. What I will point out to you is viruses that come in liquids like pustules or coughing or blood that dry on linen. If it's dry on linen, you're basically sort of safe, but if you throw the linen on the floor and it then hits the floor and goes airborne, it will spread and people will inhale it. This is one of the major spreaders of tuberculosis, which is why real nurses don't throw linen ever on the floor.
Still, there's concern about targeting the LGBTQ community with public health warnings.
Really shouldn't be. Tell them to use condoms and look for lesions on their partners before having intercourse. It's about safety versus feelings, and to be frank with you, homophobia is a disease and needs to be treated as such. There is no real treatment, but
The vaccine that eradicated smallpox does work against monkeypox as well, but routine smallpox vaccination in Canada stopped by the 1970s.
because it's been eradicated, most people should be fine, but I would respectfully suggest wearing N95s when shopping. After all, COVID-19 is usually stopped dead by an N95, and COVID-19 has not gone away, and long COVID is not very pleasant. Until we see cluster spread or airborne spread, don't worry too much about monkeypox. But please don't start blowing up monkeys, and as a general rule, avoid eating bushmeat. Monkeypox likely will never go away and will keep appearing in little clusters like it's not COVID-20. Probably not AIDS too. I really hope it isn't. But be safe out there. Like any communicable disease, if you think you've been in contact with monkeypox, you need to isolate and you need to talk to a medical practitioner on the phone. You're almost certainly not going to die from it if you do catch it, and you're almost certainly never going to catch it. One of the bad things for this is it really does hit younger children more, and one of the issues in Central Africa is poverty and malnutrition. There is a lot of blindness associated with this when they get lesions in their eyes, so it's something you actually do want to avoid getting, and you really don't want your kids to get it, but I think we're a long way at this point from pulling your kids out of school. If like me you're over 50, yes I'm over 50, you may well have been inoculated for smallpox. As a kid I was. This means I have about an 85% chance of never catching monkeypox even if I'm exposed to it. Bear in mind, catching it from human to humans has previously been very difficult and still remains quite difficult. If it's going to be easier transmission, what we're going to see in Spain, Portugal, America, Canada, Israel, Singapore, is case numbers hitting 50 to 100 to 200 to 250 over the next week or so. If it doesn't hit those types of numbers, it's a cluster outbreak. Maybe there was a super spreader who's been flying around having anal sex. Maybe there's a super spreader who's gay who's been flying around and hanging out in bars with a respiratory infection virus. Highly unlikely you're going to start giving people smallpox vaccine. I think even in the States, if you actually ask for smallpox vaccine from your family doctor, even though it's all about cash there, not about health, I don't think they'll be able to give you it. It's cleverly controlled because of possibility of terrorism. One of the chatters on some of the prepper things have been hospitals getting really impressive spacesuits with filter canisters and all the rest of it recently. I think it's more to do with radiation or nuclear war than anything else. What I can tell you about monkeypox, wear an N95, wear gloves, wear a gown, wear goggles, wash your hands carefully and degown and deglove properly, and you will be safe. That's it from me, and that's it from Lyle. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Try not to worry about monkeypox. Worry about things you can control, but don't worry about things that you can't control. And be really careful when you watch stuff online that's telling you that you're going to die from monkeypox. You probably won't. Toodles. This is a Prepper Dog production 2022. He stands on guard for treats.